Hey guys, this is Praveen Devas and J-Rock from the MMA India show, live with you, chatting about MFN 10 post-fight review and UFC Vegas 65 preview. अभी मैं तो नहीं देख पाया था MFN. आपको कैसा लगा?
This is Praveen Devas.
It was very good card, top to bottom, action-packed, numerous stoppages, especially title fight काफी अच्छे थे, 5 rounds. सारे तो 5 rounds नहीं गए, but MFN 10 started with Pooja Tomar and Bai Nguyen. It was a very good fight. Bai ने पहले Pooja को हराया हुआ था one championship में in a Muay Thai fight, and Pooja ultimately got a revenge and knocked her out in the second round at MFN 10.
So who was dominating in the fight? Was it Pooja or B before?
Yeah, initially I was not expecting Pooja to do that well, but right from the beginning she started dominating the fight. Inside low kick, head kick, punches. She kept Bai at bay. Used her jab pretty good, and eventually in the second round she started using her combinations, and ultimately at some point within 2 minutes of the very first round she dropped her and landed a barrage of punches until referee Dan Isaac stepped in to stop the fight.
So wasn't it a big surprise, because B is a big name in one?
It is. So when the type of performance that Pooja Tomar put on, I was really surprised, and it's a real shame because we might not get to see Bai Nguyen and Ritu Fogart rematch. Yeah. Since Bai is now signed with MFN. I'm not sure about
are they signed for like one-off fights, or are they signed for, because even Pooja was with one as well?
She was, but then she was released and eventually signed by MFN.
But are these long-term contracts?
I think so. There were some whispers that some fighters are being signed for long-term, especially the foreign fighters. Yeah. So that the MFN wants to keep building its audience in the foreign audience as well. Yeah. And I think that was one of the reasons they gave Bai the fight, because he's such a big name in the MMA circuit.
Which is good, because I think as a professional promotion, it's always good when you have fighters exclusively signed to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's a good thing. Now, going apart from the 3 top title fights, I also want to talk about Priya Sharma defeating Jojo Rajkumari, because she's an upcoming fighter from the Northeast, who we also promoted initially, how she got into the news, and she lost by unanimous decision. Strawweight, you saw it. Was that more or less how it panned out? Priya was the deserving winner.
Personally, I thought that Jojo did enough to get the nod, but it was not a robbery.
Okay.
It was a very close fight. I thought that Jojo looked a tad bit not herself, because she was backing her numerous times of the fight, and at the end, the last 2 minutes, she was circling the round. She did not want to fight.
Who, Jojo?
Jojo, yes. I think she was hurt numerous times in the fight, but I think there is going to be a rematch, and eventually Jojo will figure it out, because I just think there was some modifications needed to be made in her fight, like more improvement in the ground game. And Priya is not some low-level fighter. She has fought in Thailand, keeps fighting in Thailand, Fairtex fights.
She trains there as well, I think.
She trains there, and the
I
level
think she trains there with the Stamp, right?
Yeah. Not Stamp, but the same gym. It's a franchise gym, Fairtex Fighting Championship. Because the striking level in Muay Thai at Fairtex is very, very high. Yeah. And Jojo was not able to keep up with it. Yeah. So I feel like Jojo needs to take a trip to Thailand as well. To improve her striking.
So I would say Priya was the deserving. You can never leave it to the judges, and like you said, it could have gone either.
It could have gone either.
But and if Jojo was, let's say, not really, getting into the fight in the last couple of minutes, then that stuff is noticed, and Priya, I would say, deserves to win if you're not engaging fully as a fighter, or if you're not going for that win, right? Pressing for that win.
Personally, I feel she can make the modifications the next fight and can get a win.
Now, the title fights at flyweight, Angad Bisht beats Mohammad Gamal by submission. Mohammad Gamal's from where?
Egypt.
Yeah. Okay. And Angad, I think, has always been one of the good upcoming fighters. I think he's just had one loss on his name.
That was way back, and I think he has made necessary modifications. He changed weight class multiple times since flyweight was introduced. I think he has found his groove.
His groove here. But he's a good fighter. I've always liked watching him fight. I think he always comes to win.
Yeah.
Right? He always comes to win.
This was not an easy fight for Angad, because in the first 2 rounds, he was getting dominated pretty good.
Yeah.
For example, Mohammad Gamal is also a top-rated fighter from Egypt. He was the #1 flyweight champion.
Yeah.
He was a national Egyptian flyweight champion.
Yeah.
And in the first 2 rounds, Angat was getting dominated. He was getting, jabbed his face off. He was getting taken down. But in the third round, he made some changes. He showed urgency. Even though it was a 5-round fight, he showed urgency in the third round, took him down, got his back. There was a moment where he almost, multiple times, he was going for the rear naked choke. And then finally, Jamal lapsed at one point in the middle of the round, and eventually he got his back and choked him out. Yeah.
Now, the bantamweight fight, Ulumu Kareem from Pakistan defeated Apna Chaudhary
Yes.
via TKO. Not great news.
Not great news
for us.
It was a brutal knockout.
Yeah.
Dhruv was lying there for some time, and he had to be taken through help.
And this happened in which round?
In the second round.
In the second
round.
And how was it going before that?
Before that, it was like so and so. Both fighters said, sorry, it was knockout was in the first round. Initially, they were feeling each other out and maintaining their distance. But at some point of time, I feel Ulumi got the better of Dhruv Chaudhary and landed a beautiful right hook and eventually.
And what's Ulumi's Kareem's pedigree?
He has fought Mohammad Farhad at Brave before.
Oh, okay.
And Mohammad Farhad actually knocked him out.
Yeah, I remember that fight. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And before that also he has fought an Indian fighter. I don't exactly remember the name, and he had won that fight.
Okay.
So Ulumi is 2-1 against Indian fighters.
Okay.
But I think he will have a tough time keeping the belt since he's an MFN champion. He will have to face top MMA fighters from India, and eventually, hopefully, India will get the better of him.
It's sport. One person wins. We all, of course, want to back our guy.
And one
but
thing
at the end of the day, it's sport, and you want fair and square.
One thing I loved about Ulumi was that he kept chanting "peace through sport" after knocking Dhruv Chaudhary out, which was great. I feel.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Sanjeet Budwar for the featherweight belt, right? He defeated Atalbek Adman. इसका नाम है ये कहाँ का है?
Yeah, he's from Kyrgyzstan.
Kyrgyzstan,
yes.
So, okay.
It was a good fight.
Yeah.
Very good back and forth. Could have gone either way, but I'm happy that the Indian took the belt.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's great. Now, so how was the fight overall, though?
It was very good fight. Overall fight was, I would say, 3-2 in favor of Sanjeet Budwar. He did quite well. Used his jab, takedown भी ले रहा था बीच में, used his leg kicks. I feel like he had an urgency at the end of the round to do very well. I think the last round made all the difference. Last round he was very active. He did not let the Kyrgyz guy to get his groove.
Yeah.
And eventually, I think the judges got that right.
Okay. Now, UFC 65, Vegas 65. I don't think you're too excited about this card.
Not really. Like from a prediction perspective, it can go anyways. Not like the last pay-per-view card where you went 4-1.
But the faida in this is that the odds you're getting are
pretty
good. Like just for example, Andre Filal versus who's 1.9 versus Muslim Salikov, who's also 1.9. So it's almost double you're getting on either fighter.
Yeah.
You just have to choose the right one.
Yeah. Andre Fiallo, I met him in Singapore as well for UFC 275. He was cornering, and he also fought Jake Matthews. Unfortunately, he got knocked out there, but he's one of the nice guys in MMA. Okay. Although I'm pulling for him, but the heart says Andre, but my brain says Muslim Salikov.
Okay. You mean your wallet says Muslim?
Yeah.
Salikov, huh?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. So apart from that, Jack Della Maddalena 1.18 versus Danny Roberts at 5. You have Jack Della, of course, winning. Yes. Heavy favorite.
Yeah.
Right?
I also met Jack also in Singapore.
Yeah.
Very good fighter, very good striker. I just don't think Danny Roberts has enough to keep him at bay. He will eventually get a TKO, which I think is better if you are going to predict on this fight.
Yeah.
Going at Jack Della via TKO at 1.53 is a much better value than predicting him straight at 1.18.
Okay. Now Chase Sherman is at 2.75 versus Waldo Cortez at 1.44. So you're predicting Waldo wins or Waldo wins by a KO?
Yes.
At 2.30. Yeah. So if you just normally would predict on him, you get 1.44. But if you say he's gonna
win by
TKO or KO, then you get 2.30.
Yes.
But why do you feel he's gonna knock him off?
Chase Sherman is I would say he's the journeyman of the heavyweight division. and the Brazilian guy he's on an 8-fight winning streak, and he's
Waldo.
he's very heavy-handed. He lands very good punches, kicks bhi acha hai. His takedown defense is very good. At some point of time, I feel that Chase Sherman will play into Waldo's game plan and eventually get knocked out.
Okay. Now the top two fights, Ian Kotelba at 2.40 versus Kennedy Zichukwu at 1.57. You're predicting Kennedy wins.
Yeah.
What's Kennedy's pedigree up till now?
He's a very good striker.
Yeah, because Ian is a pretty good fighter as well. Kutelba, and he's always very.
Yeah, but Kutelba is very wild, and I feel that won't work against a guy like Kennedy.
Yeah.
Who throws his punches with precision. He does not waste his punches. So eventually, I feel like the only path to victory for Ion is to take him down. But I don't think that's going to happen because the other guy is very good takedown defense and good wrestling pedigree as well. But I feel like at some point of time, Ion will get frustrated, and when he goes for a takedown, I feel like that's when Kennedy will either knock him out or go for a ground and pound submission. Anything can happen, but I feel like Kennedy got this.
Okay. Now the main fight of the evening is Derek Lewis at 2.62 versus Sergey Spivak at 1.50. So you're saying Derek is going to win?
Yeah.
Or Derek wins at KO TKO at 3, or the fight goes over 1.5 rounds at 1.80 is also a good kind of thing.
Yeah.
So why are the bookies having Derek Lewis as the underdog?
Because I think this is recency bias. Because Derek Lewis lost his last 2 fights. But if you deep dive into it, the Tai Tuivasa fight, he was winning until he got knocked out.
Yeah.
And this fight is being fought at a UFC Apex small cage, and Derek Lewis is a much better striker and much heavy-handed striker. If people remember the last fight, also Derek was winning until he got caught. So this won't happen. I feel this won't happen, and Derek Lewis will get the better of his opponent.
Okay. So I think the fight is worth waking up for just for Derek. He's always very interesting.
Yes.
A fighter. What time are the fights?
It's at 4 a.m. India time.
4 a.m.
Yes. Yes.
So the main fight will come around 6.
Oh, sorry. The main card is at 2:30 a.m. Even
the main card starts at 2:30 a.m. So 4 baje kyun keh raha tha?
Sorry.
But why is it starting so early? It's still in Vegas. Why is it starting so early?
Most probably because ESPN Plus has other commitments. Football season and all is there. So I think they just want to get more audience.
Okay.
They don't want to cut into football's audience.
Sorry, Indian fans.
Yeah.
आपको बहुत जल्दी उठना पड़ेगा 2:30 बजे.
Yeah, सोई हूँ.
या सोई मत हाँ रात को पीते देखते जाओ तो 2:30 बजे.
Because prelims
Saturday night फिर अभी आ रहा है. Okay, so
11:30
Saturday night है. आप ये सोचो ही मत कि Sunday morning.
Yeah,
नहीं, just think of it as Saturday night. On the way back or while partying, turn on your apps, Sony Live apps, or just come back and watch the broadcast on Sony 10, which Sony 10-2 usually comes on. So worth staying up for Derek Lewis. But by the time Derek Lewis is fighting, it'll be 4:30.
Yeah.
So maybe not, stay up all night. Maybe you can sleep early and wake up early.
Yeah. One of the reasons I'm picking Derek Lewis because once again he fought at UFC Apex with Curtis Blades, who is also a very good wrestler.
Yeah.
And Curtis was winning until Derek landed a huge right hand and knocked him out. And I think something similar might happen in this fight as well.
Okay. So
however, to better get the value, I think the better way to predict would be the fight going over 1.5 rounds. Since it's a 5-round fight, so over 1.5 round पे अच्छा value है.
Yeah.
I think both fighters will start slow.
Okay.
And if it was a 3-round fight, over 1.5 could have been risky. But since it's a 5-round fight, there's a good value at over 1.5.
Okay. So that was the roundup of Matrix Fight Night 10 and the predictions for UFC Vegas 65.
Yeah.
I thought we had decided to talk in Hindi.
Maybe next.
Yeah, शर्म आती है हिंदी में बात.
नहीं, हिंदी मातृभाषा है.
Exactly. So sorry, अगली बार से हम हिंदी में चालू करेंगे. So keep following the MMA Media Show in Hindi. We will start from next week. पक्का आज करने वाले थे, आज भूल गए.
Yeah.
आदत पड़ी हुई है अंग्रेजी में बात करने की.
Keep following us because our prediction rate is very good.
Very
last
good.
Event,
above 70%.
Last event we went 4-1. We could have gone 5-0 if not for
Israel भाई last round में वो Alex ने थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा put on the pedal a little too much. Otherwise we would have been 5-0.
Yeah.
But thanks for tuning in, guys. Again, this is Praveen Dabas and J Rock from the MMA Media Show. Thanks for always tuning in. Cheers. Stay safe. Enjoy the fights.